Alright, so welcome to today's tutorials. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Excel function COUNTIF and try out some basic examples. So we have COUNTIF and COUNTIFs. COUNTIF is an Excel function which is used to count cells in a range that meet a single condition, whilst COUNTIFs, the one that ends with an S, is used to apply criteria to cells in multiple ranges and extract the number of times all criteria are met. So in this video, we will be focusing on COUNTIF. So let's just get into it. So we can create our own data set and call it, let's say, fruit. We can do it here, fruit, and let's say prices, but we will not be using the prices column. So let's just say we have orange, 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 apple, orange, apple, lemon, apple, 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 orange, lemon, lemon, apple, orange, lemon, apple, orange. All right, and let's just put random numbers here. I mean, we are not going to use any of the prices cell. So just put random numbers here. All right, just to make our data set look more organized. And just remember that we will not be using the prices column. All right, so here we have it. So let's just format this. And let's just format the prices column into currency. So what we have here is we have fruits. We have a basic data set. Yeah. So we have fruit and prices. So we want to find the total number of oranges, or the number of times the word orange or the data orange appears, or let's say shows forth in a cell. So we can do we can just create a short table. Let's say item, and let's say number of times. All right, so number of times, and let's just expand this. So let's just name this one orange, apple, lemon. All right, so what we have here is we want to find the number of times that the word or the data orange appears in this range. So this is where we use the COUNTIF function. So let's just do it. Equal sign, we use the equal sign, count if. You can select from the drop down list, or you can just use it, you can just type it in, count if, and then open parentheses. So this is where we start to use the function. So we just have to select the range. The range is basically where we will be looking for the criteria from. So the range will be from B4 to, let's say, B22. All right, and because we are looking for orange, we can use, or we can just make the criteria orange. So we can just type orange in, and then we can just close it with a parenthesis and press enter, and Excel does it for us. So it's saying that from B4 to B22, the number of, the word orange, or the cell that contains orange, appears 8 times. But we can also do it like this. We can name, to be more, let's say, precise, we can name our table or our cell range to, let's say, orange, or let's say not orange, but rather fruits. For us to be more precise, we can name this range, right click, define name, we can call it fruit. All right, and so it's simply saying that from B4 to B22, every item, or this group of items or data, will be called fruit. So when we come to our cell here and use COUNTIF, right, COUNTIF, open parenthesis, the range, if you are to select from B4, right, to B21, it will simply say B4 to B21. But the moment we expand it to B22, the name changes to fruit. So we get our, let's say, complete, or let's say more professional like data. And the criteria here, same, orange. We just press enter, and it shows us that the word or the data orange appears 8 times. I mean, Excel doesn't know if it's a word or if it's your name or if it's your pet's name or anything. But let's just call it word, all right? So the next one, we can use the same function for Excel. Instead, we can simply all right, so let's just delete the defined name that we gave the group of cells. So you can just go here, file manager, and we want to delete this name range, right? So that we go back to basics. All right, so it doesn't show or it doesn't work because the name the defined name range is not available anymore because we deleted it. All right, so let's just start again. So COUNTIF, we use COUNTIF. The range will be from here, B4 to B22, and the criteria will be orange. So we close it, we close the parentheses, and here we have orange. So the next one, we can use the same thing. COUNTIF any of the cell from B4 to B22 contains the criteria apple. We can just close it, close parentheses, then we have 7. So it's saying that 7 items or 7 cells contain the word or the data apple. And the next one, we can simply use COUNTIF the range criteria will be lemon. All right, and then we just close parentheses, or you can just press enter. Excel will do it for you. So lemon appears 4 times from this list. All right, so in this next example, we will be focusing on finding data that ends with a certain or a single criteria, and in this case it will be S. All right, so what we want to find, or what we want to do, is we want to find any data that ends with S. So we can use COUNTIF open parenthesis. All right, the range will be from F5 to F23. All right, and we open quotes. So the criteria, so this is where we use what I call the super card or the wild card, or let's say the power card. And this is asterisk. All right, so we put asterisk. What it does is that it will not bring forth any data that comes before it, because we only want to find the data that comes after it, all right, which is S. So this asterisk sign will not bring any data or any letter or any word or anything, right? It will just eliminate everything, but rather bring forth, and I mean, our criteria that comes with it. All right, so we want to find any word or any data that ends with S. So we just put asterisk S, we close quotes, and then we close the parentheses and then press it, enter. We run the function, and it says that the number, data that contains or ends with S appears 5 times. So let's count it to see if it's right. Grapes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right. The next one, we want to use the same function, COUNTIF open parenthesis. So in this case, same thing, we want to find any data that ends with an E. So we just select our range from F5 to F23, and then criteria, you open our quotes, let's say asterisk So it will eliminate any data that comes before it. And then we just close up our quotes and our parentheses, and we have 9. So let's count to see if it's right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So in the next one, we want to extract any data that starts with an L. And we can see that we have lemons and lime, right? So we can just use the same function, COUNTIF, open parentheses. The range is the same. Criteria. Now, instead of using or placing the asterisks before our criteria, which was in the case of the first one, we use it after our criteria or after what we are looking for. So in this case, it will be L. So we just type L and then we put our asterisks, our power card. So what this does is that it eliminates any data or any information that comes after the L. And then we can just close it, close our quotes, and then close the parentheses. And we can see 5 data, or let's say 5 items or 5 cells contains a data that starts with an L. We can count it. Lime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's it for this exercise. So let's see if this function actually works. So if I add another word or another fruit that ends with an S, we want to see if this figure here will change. So let's say lemons, right? Lemons. So it will not change, but if you come here, right, and we select, we eliminate 23 or the 3, and then we add 4, yeah, you can see that it changes because we just added it, added a new data in a new set, and we actually linked it. So if you have to do the same thing for this one, the one that ends with an E, you can say line. All right, you can come here and then just change it to, let's say, 5. It highlights everything, and then we have 10. We can do it for the next one too. So the last exercise here is very simple. So we want to find, let's say, the numbers or any number that is more than 5. All right, so we can just use the same COUNTIF open parentheses, the range F6 to F22, and then the criteria. In this case, we use the greater than sign, so it will be greater than 5, and we close our quotes and close our parentheses, and we can see that each cells contains numbers or a number that is greater than 5. The next exercise too, right? So equals to COUNTIF open parentheses, select our range, criteria, in this case 5 or more, so we use greater than or equals to 5. All right, then we close the quotes, close parentheses, and then we have 12. And the next one is less than 5, so we use the same function, COUNTIF any cells here, all right, contains a data which is less than 5. Then we close quotes, and then we close the parentheses, and we have 5, less than 5. And the next one, COUNTIF any data here contains any digit or any number that is 5 or less. So we can say less than or equals to 5. Then we close the parentheses, and then we close the quotes and parentheses, and we have 9. And then the last one, which is not equal to, so this we just find a number or all the digits that are not, or all the cells that are not equals to a certain number. So let's say 5. So we can just use equals to COUNTIF, open parenthesis, range, and then our criteria here we'll use the not equal to sign, which is the greater, the less than sign and the greater than sign, right? And then we can just put 5 and then close it, and we have our calculation.